Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday to everyone. It's a beautiful Saturday outside. Hopefully, the same is across the board. Um, Coming to you live, Heyward CPA Live. It is me in the building today. James is out of the office today. He told me to send everyone the hellos and to see you in 2 weeks. Um, just wanted to cover a couple of things today. I have a few things I want to talk to everyone about, share some topics and ask some questions. We coming up on the end of the year very shortly. Quarter 4 is approaching us very fastly. So just want to talk about some business things. If there's any questions, please definitely drop them in the question box, or you can send us any of your questions at hello at Heyward CPA Live. Um, but I want to talk about some of the what quarter 4 of business looks like, right? Have some questions, have some topics, and then I want to talk a little bit more um, about what we see or what we have seen or experienced even more this particular year with in the accounting phase, in the accounting aspect of the business, and why having a good accounting and bookkeeping system is important. So I'm going to share these things. Feel free to jot down some notes. If you have any questions, again, you can reach us at hello at heywardcpa.com to ask any questions, set up some consultations. Even go to our website, heywardcpa.com, see what we're about, and let us know how we can be of assistance to you. Okay. So some of the things that we want to talk about. Let's talk about a business review and assessment for the year. This is the time of the year that we spend with our clients on directly one-on-one and away from the clients, thinking about their business, right? Because we handle a lot of the back end stuff, right? And some of the questions that get asked, some of the questions that we do ask, but the most important part about this question is really for the business owner to reflect. The business owner or business owners, along with any advisors that the business owner has. You can ask this personally. You can ask this across the board for the business, staff, employees. So it's very applicable to everyone, right? Here's the question. How has your business performed for the year so far? Right? Very important question. How has it performed? Again, we have 3 more months coming up in Q4. That's going to get us over to the next year. So how has it performed? Very important. Where you are now, and do you have plans for 2025? And so we'll get into that shortly, but I want to kind of stay right here, right? How's your business perform for the year? What metrics? What KPIs, key performance indicators? That's a bunch of words, but what are the drivers of the business, right? And how are those drivers improving your business, or how are those drivers challenging the business? Very important piece to ask. I think that's the most realistic question. Now, this pertains to everything. This pertains to revenue being generated, profits, expenses, key, right? We want to make sure our expenses don't override our revenues, but we want to ask those questions. Why do we want to ask those questions in particular? We want to make sure that we have the right answers. We have the right support to provide us with the solutions to get us over that hump, right? So that's very, very important to ask at every particular quarter of the year, as well as every month, looking at your reports. But again, this particular time of the year, this will give you the last 3 months to make any adjustments, make any tweaks, I should say, to what needs to happen towards the end of the year, so you can start to realize and plan for 2025, which should already be in place, right? What lessons have you learned? What lessons led you to new information, We're currently in the age of where AI is performing at an all-time high right now, right? AI doesn't replace us, but if we learn how to utilize it to improve the performance of our business, we'll be in a good place, right? So what systems do you have in place? Are your clients satisfied? Are they getting a great experience from your business? See, us as individuals, we have limitations. The business doesn't. The business is limited by what we have in place to allow it to grow. So what do we have in place to allow the business to grow where we move ourselves out of the way? And I'm going to put a pin in this because we're going to come back to this. All of this relates around, obviously, finances, right? And as it relates to finances and funding, right? What are those things that impede or improve our ability to collect the finances or generate the finances needed to help us continuously grow our business and scale the business? Making money is never the problem for folks. It's having a good plan, or having a plan that can be tweaked along the way, but also having a team of people and systems that will allow you to scale the business, right? And there's a lot that comes with that. So let me give you a couple other questions. So what are your realistic goals for the end of the year? Do you have realistic goals? Do you have any? Is your business plan being worked on? We like to call it a live plan. Are you currently working on your live plan now? Who are your advisors? Who are your coaches? What conversations are you having? What reports are you looking at? What system improvements are you making and or need to actually make? Is a most important question. Are you in the way? Because as business owners, we take everything very personal, right? Are we moving ourselves out of the way to allow for growth? Are we allowing others that are, whether they're staff, contractors, strategic partners, are we seeking counsel together to grow our commitment, to grow our resources, to grow our let's say even branding of the business, right? That's important. So these are some of the questions that should be asked and come up with an answer and or a solution, at least to move you to the next step. It's not about impacting everything. James and I have this saying: if we can improve 1% every single day in any area personally, that will influence, because anything you do personally will influence everything around you, right? So if we can improve 1% every single day, that's 365% improvement over the year, right? 0.5%. It's still something is better than nothing. Okay. Budgeting and financial planning. Whoa, heavy. That is heavy. And we're going to come back to why that's important. Is we keep having these conversations only to create some momentum and belief behind budgeting and financial planning as being an important factor. We work with a lot of clients. We engage prospective clients as well. We get a lot of tax questions, tax scenarios, things that people would like to see immediately, or something that someone told them to do, or they may have read it or Googled it, went to the Google account and gotten some information, and they feel that information is representative of where they want to be or who they are. Budgeting, financial planning, accounting, bookkeeping system, financial statement. Do you have a financial statement? Right? How are you managing cash in, cash out? Expenses in, expenses out, right? So these are important questions that you can ask, right? So How should your business adjust to your budgets? So it's okay to set a budget, but how do you adjust it? When do you adjust it? Why do you adjust it? Now, the adjustments, well, obviously, we can't look in the crystal ball and see the future. We obviously cannot, right? And that's a hard thing to do. However, if you go from perception to perspective, and the perspective aspect is the plan and the what if scenarios, right? Which what if scenarios are financial forecasts and projections. So what if this happened? This will happen. What if this happened? This could possibly happen. So it moves from a one-sided to a perspective, a complete walk around of what opportunities or challenges that may come over the horizon. You may have a cyclical business, meaning you have seasons of highs and lows, right? But does the mean, when I say mean, meaning an average of a period of time that can balance each other out during your highs and lows, right? Do you have a mean average of where your business needs to be and can maintain and still kind of scale and grow at the same time, right? So these are considerations, these are conversations that needs to happen, and then implement, right? The conversations are good, the research is great, but the implementation is of utmost importance. We don't know unless we try, right? What beats a win is a try every time. Let's just try. Let's just try. And, these are some fundamental questions and topics that I'm bringing up. Why am I bringing it up? It may be boring. It may be mundane to some, but it's important. Why? Because we hear about it every single day. We talk about this day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out, internally amongst our team, with clients, with prospective clients that are just, kicking the tires to see what the fit is, right? And it's an important aspect of livelihood and lifestyle and running the business. Let's face it, these are the parts of the business and parts of life that aren't really appealing. To some, it is. Some people love the challenges and the juices that flow from running a business, and that's a beautiful thing, right? When you get into what the numbers are, when you get into systems, when you get into growth, when you get into branding, when you get into marketing, when you get into doing these podcasts, when you get into actually satisfying a client, your customer or your client, solving their pain points, their challenges, or maybe you're in the industry of providing wants. Travel. People want to travel. People need to travel, right? Fancy mugs, clothes, whatever it is, right? Are they being satisfied? What is their experience like? Really diving into there's a thing called, I'm sure everyone knows about demographics, but there's a thing called psychographics. What makes a client or customer tick? What is their thing? And how do you tap into that market of people for continuous business, right? So all of these things are important for the growth and the health, not only of yourself, but of the business. And then the people you're responsible for. So again, I'm throwing a lot out there today. If James was here, our conversations would be, in along the same lines. But I have free reins today. So don't tell him. I'm sure he'll see the video. All right. Now, here's a question that we do ask as well. What strategies can your business put in place to end the year profitably? I'll say it again. What strategies can you implement for the business to become profitable at the end of the year? Pretty loaded question, right? I won't go into too much of revenue, the difference between revenue generated, profits, and net free cash flow. Those are educational pieces. Again, reach out to us at heywardcpa.com, schedule an appointment. We'd be glad to do a consultation and do a discovery of what your needs are and so on and so forth. We do have a program, by the way, along with just doing taxes for our business owners and individuals of BYOB, where we teach you, how to be your own bookkeeper and why it's important. But we're going to come back to that in a few moments. All right. Marketing. What marketing strategies do I need to put into place? Right. Again, that goes along with your generating revenue. Right. Because without clients or customers, you're not in business. If you're not making money, you're not in business. So what are those marketing strategies? Do they work? Have you tested them? Have you refined your messages? Again, we have software and applications and AI that will allow to reduce some of the man labor time, but it'll provide you a more greater time to dive into oversight, providing oversight, making sure everything is running smoothly, but also tweaking it and improving it and improving and improving and improving, right? Because every business will get pressure test, stress test, some sort of a test. It can be financial, which is the bottom line. They can be people tested. It could be customer tested, client tested. So there's a lot of tests that we don't see over the horizon. And so I had the great experience of being part of the Greater Durham Black Chamber of Commerce. Let me get my words together here. We had a Black Business Month for August, and there was some great representation of small business owners around. I met a lot of great people, and their questions and their challenges and pain points were very, very, it's all basic stuff that we feel as individuals, and they were all looking for solutions. So we provided programs and webinars and in-person meets and all kinds of resources, introduced people to people. It was such a great month of just business camaraderie. The impact that people have on each other and the work that people are doing for the community, in the community, for the customers and clients, especially for the youth. Because at this age, with this gray hair, we're doing it for the youth, right? We're doing it for legacy, whether it's family or for strangers. We have to pave a way where we develop our community of business infrastructure and not be gatekeepers of information, right? So we can continuously move this thing forward. So, all right, I'll go back. I'll relax a little bit. So it's important that we ask these questions and seek out the answers so they can what? Be implemented. Correct. I'm glad somebody said that. Implementation. That's key. Is implementation. You try it doesn't work, there's a problem that can be fixed. There's a solution for that problem, right? Now, no one said this is going to be easy. Let me not make it seem like it's easy. It's not easy. It's difficult. It's challenging. But the word impossible means I'm possible. I am possible, right? Here's another saying. What's hard you do first, right? What's hard you do first, and the rest will follow. Or what's hard you do first, and it'll take just a little bit more time to complete. So the easy things you can get out of the way. All right, so let's move on. Tax preparation. We all know about tax preparation. We all come to those moments where anxiety is high. Tax year is coming. Right now, we're coming up on the extensions that were done for April, for September 15th, October 15th. We're coming up on that. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of answers that's going to be look for from our clients or anyone, right? So make sure you have everything in line so you can go ahead and file your taxes. You got to have some books, business owners. Make sure you got some books. It's not about the reactive, it's about proactive. How can we be proactive? I think we spend too much time in the reactive space. Hence why I'm having this conversation today. There's a lot of people. I just did a discussion. When I say discussion, I mean it's an evaluation, a couple of analysis on some businesses that needed some funding, and they didn't have any books, or they were doing it themselves on spreadsheets, and the information just wasn't lining up. And that's a big thing. I don't want to go too much into funding. I don't do funding. We don't do funding here. We have relationships with funding sources. But again, having books is going to be very, very important. But it's also important for tax preparation as well. We don't want to leave money on the table, especially the way the laws go up and down and change. We're in a cycle of elections coming up. Things will change. And how does it affect you as a business owner? I'll let you do that homework there. Strategic planning for the year. Even though you're in Q4, you're planning for what the end of the year looks like, right? You still need to have a plan for 2025. So what is that? Right? Let's talk about it real quick. I got some things pulled up here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick. Right? Bear with me. Let's talk about it. There we go. What are your key financial indicators, right? So that's the process of your financial analysis, right? Where your statements are a starting point. And I'm going to hold right there. That leads into your business control systems, right? When you heard me talking about systems, software, applications, implementation, what systems? We have a thing called internal controls, right? From what system works into what. I'm going somewhere here, kind of just throwing a lot of information at everyone. But I feel as though that someone will grab a hold of something and it'll motivate them and propel them. Give them maybe a bright light and say, "Oh, I didn't think about that. Let me take a look." Right. So your financial indicators is a plus, right? You can put that in a box and deal with that as what those indicators are: cash in, cash out, expenses in, expenses out. So those are some financial indicators, not all. I won't go into too much detail. Don't want to bore you guys too much. But establish your guidelines. It's another one. Take care of the money coming into your business and take care of the money going out of your business. But how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you take care of the money coming in? How do you take care of the money coming out? Basic questions. But it's important. It's important. Simple questions, but it's important. Again, I repeat, for those that maybe are just logging on now or watching this after the fact, we overlook the simple questions. We overlook the simple things because we want a bigger impact, but we won't take on and check off the box for the simplest things within the business. Not easy, but it's important. Not fun yet, but it's important. There's a higher ceiling from starting a business, from being the technician in the business. You're great at what you do. Whether you're great at what you do, you were inspired to do it, you were put in a situation to start a business because of the atmosphere in the world. We had COVID. A lot of businesses started in during COVID. A lot of businesses. Um, we're in North Carolina. North Carolina alone, last year I think it was something like 82,000 businesses were started within a year and a half. %60 don't have accounting and bookkeeping in place. I'm not doing this data. I mean, this data is real data. Oh, that's data for you, right? Data. You see how the bookkeeping accounting piece works? It's data, numbers. Your gas tank goes from full to 3/4 to half to a quarter to zero. You have the in-betweens. No, who really cares about the in-betweens, right? But those, it's there. That's data. Imagine you had a gas tank and you didn't have a meter to know how much gas you had left. You constantly thinking about how many miles you drove, right? What size tank you have, and then you have to get out and check your gas. Maybe take one of those sticks and put it in the gas tank to see how much gas you have left. That's how it is like running a business without understanding your accounting and bookkeeping. Fred Flintstoning it. Or possibly Fred Flintstoning it. Meaning you run out of gas and using your feet to get someplace, pushing the car. Right? So these things are, again, very, very important. We're at the end of the year. So if you don't have bookkeeping in place, if you don't have accounting in place, if you don't have a plan in place, if you don't have any goals in place, I would say start today. Write it down. Get your notebook. Write it down. Yes, someone said that is not good. It's not. And it's too much. I mean, it's way too much. Find some resources online, some financial reports, Pew Research. They provide reports on businesses and some of the pain points in businesses. Find that, and a lot of them is bent on business owners wearing too many hats. Now, and that big hat, the biggest hat they wear, is the financial piece, accounting and bookkeeping. But that's not even the biggest piece, because while that is a bigger hat, if they're focused on that in the wrong way and managing it the wrong way, then you're losing momentum on generating revenue. You're losing momentum on your messaging. You're losing momentum on hiring and training and keeping staff happy and satisfied. And then you have an issue in payroll. Then you have to pivot because you have no what you call it, peripheral. There it is. No peripheral, because your peripheral gets dimmed down. Now I want to ask, anyone can raise their hand. It's a virtual raise your hand, by the way. Are you getting sleep at night? And I'm not talking about, working late nights because you're motivated, things are happening, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Are you getting sleep at night because you can sleep at night? Or are you not getting sleep because you're thinking about your business and woe is me? So, important things to think about. Now, here's what I want to share. Why? Let me see. Do I want to go there yet? No, I think let me pause for a moment. I'm going to go back to where we were before, right? We just talked about strategic planning for the year and why it's important, right? Employee productivity and morale, which is leadership, right? How can you maintain or boost employee productivity? Do they have any skin in the game? Do they understand your vision? What are their goals and plans? Something to think about here. Here's the thing. Do you guys do any team building events, retreats, meetings? Are your employees or staff the drivers of what they do? Do their thoughts and ideas get heard? Are they in a position where they can express their thoughts and ideas? I've experienced this myself. Just being an employee years ago. I've had the opportunity of having managers that I said managers with a plural, didn't I? Only one or two that were really motivating to the point that my ideas actually took life and were implemented. Big deal when you have people in your corner that way. So, try to be that for the people that you work with, employees, staff, strategic partnerships. Doesn't matter. It's all relationship driven anyway. Everything is relationship driven. Every single thing is about the relationship that you have with people, with yourself, family, friends, customers, clients. I mean, there's no separation except for a title, but it's all relationship driven. Okay. On to the next. Operational improvements, right? So what operational improvements or processes need to be improved? Do you have we like to call it accounting manual. We like to call standard operating procedures. Yeah. Do you have these things in place? Not just for yourself, but for the business and for those that are in the business and those that come behind, as well as funding opportunities. Because funding, they won't go into too much, but they look at your financial statements, certain parts of your financial statements. The thing is, they want to make sure that you can pay back the money, whatever funding is not, that needs to be paid back. But also how you manage risk. Very, very, very big deal. How do you manage risk? Remember we talked about that stress thing earlier, right? That's the stress. How do you manage risk? And then what is your vision for the business? That's important. What are your goals? No one can tell you what to do. They can suggest, they can advise. No one can tell you what to do. But don't get so caught up in what you think you know that you tell the professionals what you think they should tell you to do. Conundrum. I've had a few of those too. Hey, I need help. Okay, great. This is what you should do. Or option 1 or option 2, option 3. No, I don't think that that's right. You should tell me I need to do this. No, this is not in the cards. Well, I don't understand why not. All right, move on. Right, so these are important questions and topics to think about. Something to really, really sit back and think about. Again, don't shoot the messenger. understand the message behind why this conversation and topic here today is important, as well as all of the other lives that James and I do, talking about these topics, right? Why it's important, what happens. You guys don't see what happens behind the scenes in any financial professionals operations, and how they have to see things. It's difficult for those that can't see what financial professionals see. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. And that's where being a good student, I should say, a good coachee, someone that's coachable, someone that's willing to have continuous learning and continuous improving as one of their indicators and factors and core values within themselves, as well as the business. Because whatever you have as the owner, it'll trickle down to the business, to the staff. It'll trickle down to the theme and the brand of the business, because that's what's important. Now, I want to share with you guys why, again, I'm harping on accounting and bookkeeping as your foundation, right? You're living in a house, you're working in a building, you're on the second floor, you're on the 18th floor, you're on the whatever floor, you walk elevators, stairs, doors. None of that stuff stands up without a proper foundation. Nothing. Concrete, steel beams, none of that stands up without a proper foundation. If there was no foundation in place, we'll be in quicksand, which is what we seem to see the climate of businesses. Why do you think businesses fail within 3 to 5 years? You get lucky in the first couple of years, and then everything starts going down. You have all kinds of issues, and one problem snowballs. There's a couple of other things that snowballs as well. So this is why. So we call it 7 systems of business. There's 7 systems, 7 departments, 7 areas. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. There's just 7 things. There's some more, but the main ones, right? We're talking about the main ones of business. These things have to be in full effect if you're trying to be successful and grow past a number. Some people are making just $50,000 a year. That's not even the average medium household income. Can we realize 100,000, 150, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, a million? If small businesses is the lifeblood of our country, why aren't we doing big numbers? So, number 1, leadership and vision, right? Leadership and vision does what? It defines the company's direction, goals, and long-term objectives. How is that aligned with accounting and bookkeeping? Accurate financial data from accounting informs leadership, decision, and future planning. See, it says accurate data. Talking about data that informs leadership, owners, staff, managers, department heads on making decisions for the future of the business. Can't get around that. It's like, what's the weather today? It's going to be raining. Okay, it's raining today. So do I go outside in a tank top and shorts? Unless it's 100 degrees. Tank top and shorts, and I'm going someplace. And I have to go through a puddle. So I'm not going to take that route. I'm going to find another route. And I'm going to bring an umbrella too. That was so simple. Number 2, operations. Why is accounting and bookkeeping important to operations? So day-to-day activities that produce and deliver the company's product or service. There's a reason I'm reading this stuff, because I made my notes and refined it, but I just want to make sure that this is not an opinion based. This is factual information. We're talking about the 7 systems of business and how it aligns with accounting and bookkeeping and why it's so important. Jot it down. Now, how does that align to accounting and bookkeeping? Accounting tracks the costs of operations, enabling a better resource allocation and cost efficiency. Blah, blah, blah. Day to day, dollar in. If I made $1 today and I have to spend $2 tonight, I don't have $2 to spend because I only made $1. How did I make that dollar? Because how did my operational activities cost me the extra dollars I should have made on top of that $1, which gave me $3, so I could spend the $2 and still have $1 left over. Simple, right? It sounds simple, but we have to, it's just really about not making things hard, not really overthinking too much about the simplicity of things and why it's important, right? Marketing and sales drives customer acquisition and revenue generation for your business. How does that align? It tracks ROI on marketing efforts and helps to set realistic goals. Now, we all know marketing. I think a lot of people are unsure about marketing. And marketing, the thing behind it that is very costly for marketing. It can be. It definitely can be. It definitely can be, right? But it doesn't have to be. But being able to track the ROI behind it is going to be very, very important. Customer service supports and enhances the customer experience and satisfaction. What customers are purchasing, at what costs, right? That they're purchasing this at, right? How many customers are you servicing within multiple services? How many customers are buying multiple products, right? So now you can do a forecast of, okay, we had 10 customers or clients that purchased this package. How do we get that 10 to maybe 12 to 15 customers? But how many of those customers or clients are going to be repeat business for us? Because 80% of your revenue comes from your current client base. 20% only comes from new people. It's the 80-20 rule. Human resources. Again, human resources, people, relationships and people. That's your human resource, right? So people in, people out. Human resources manages employees, payroll, so on and so forth. Now, that account is accounting and bookkeeping matter or align. It helps to facilitate payroll processing, benefits, and financial planning. If you don't have money to hire people, at least you'll know. Do you need full-time? How many full-time? Do you need part-time? How many part-time? Wait, I need seasonal. Okay. It all helps. Finance. I mean, that explains itself. Why accounting and bookkeeping are important. And then technology and data. Man, ensures that IT systems and data management support business processes. What does that even mean? Bookkeeping systems integrate with technology to automate data tracking and provide insights. How much money are you spending on applications and software? Are you implementing it? Let me back up for a moment. Technology and data, which should have been number one, right? Because that's what we're dealing with today. Ensures that IT systems and data management support business processes. That's the what. The why is bookkeeping systems integrate with technology to automate data tracking and to provide insights. So the moral of the story is get your accounting and bookkeeping system, get trained on it, learn it, have two people, yourself and someone else that you can trust or someone else in position to help. Have these conversations outside of you and start to begin to set up the systems for your business. Setting goals is just not good enough because we could set a goal, throw it on the shelf. Funny, I was a part of a group session a few months ago, and one of the things we talked about was goal setting, right? And I'm kind of repeating myself here. And why goals are important, but what happens when we set the goals? We set the goals and we put it on the shelf. We put it on the counter. And so for those that know or don't know, gaming is a big deal in the industry. Gaming, right? People playing games, testing games, making money off of gaming, right? So what happens is for those that do play games, we play cards or we play dominoes, us our old school people, right? New people, PlayStation and all the other good stuff, right? So when you're playing a game, you're on a streak. Now you have either a winning streak or losing streak. No one wants to lose. So we become more challenging, right? Whatever it is, it could be backgammon, it could be checkers, chess, pool, right? Video games. I'm just throwing it all at you guys. No one wants to lose, so we'll repeat the game so we can win. We want to get to different levels, right? So video games, different levels. As you get to different levels, you either make more money, you get more tools to use, you get more access points. That's real. When you look at it from a life perspective, it's the same thing. So having systems is going to keep the score for you. And if you keep in the score, you're losing. Well, hopefully that's not the case, but some losses actually promotes greater wins because you have to realize no challenge, no change, right? So you have to realize, oh, wait a minute, I made a wrong decision here, but okay, cool. Let me just take a step back and go 5 steps or 10 steps forward. Very important. So setting up, not having goals is important because you have to have a marker. But setting up the systems that's going to get you to the goals will provide you the data and the insights that's needed to get you to that goal. So your systems become more focused and more conscious and more, I'd say, anxiety and stress, but it could be manageable. It could be manageable as you are measuring and managing your wins and losses along the way, right? So that's why systems are important. And again, we go back to the accounting and bookkeeping piece. Without it, no one's really going anywhere. Yeah, we can use spreadsheets, but what is that? It's reactive. Here at Heyward CPA, we're about business owners and helping them get, above and over the average. How do we do that? How can we have the conversations and help business owners implement if we can't even align because a business owner is reactive? They're only looking at what was already recorded. Right? Simple statement. What was already recorded. That's what your accounting and bookkeeping system generally does. It records the activities that was already done, but it also provides you a look forward. That's called forecasting projections equals strategies. So here at Heyward CPA, we want to encourage, we want to help implement, we want to provide the insights possible so people can understand the work that we do and the information and the insights that we provide so we can continuously help clients win in business. Now, winning is not just it's a word, but it's not just one thing. You sign up for accounting and bookkeeping, you won. You come to our training sessions, you won. You're using your accounting system, bookkeeping system, and tracking and reconciling. That's another win. When you call and say, hey, I need to schedule a consultation, advisory, tax strategy call, whatever, blah, 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 with you guys, that's a win. Because now we could say, okay, give us access to your books. Or we already have access to your books because you're part of our program. Now we can have an insightful conversation from what happened to where we are to where you're trying to go. And what goals are you trying to achieve? Okay, so these systems are going to help you to get to that. And now we can have a grander conversation, which will lead into an internal controls conversation. Simple, because we're talking about the numbers. From revenue generated to how much you pay in staff, how much you want to increase their pay over time, bonuses, products, inventory. Some people have cash businesses. What is the loss in cash? How do you write this stuff off? How do you not write this stuff off? What are the laws and the policies of this? What are the laws and the policy of that? How much is this going to cost me? Hello. Any professional services that you hire, what they say you need to have accounting and legal at best, minimum. Those are things people could write off or not. All depends. So it's very important that, understanding that accounting and bookkeeping is not just one area of the 7 systems of business. It taps into every single area of the business, and it's super important that we all get on board. We're here. HeywardCPA.com. Catch us at hello at HeywardCPA.com. Go to our website and schedule a consultation. Come and join our BYOB program. Be your own bookkeeper. We will assist you. We have a system in place for that. We have a process in place for that. We help you get set up. Chart of accounts. Don't want to go into it, but everyone is different industries. So there's different accounting principles that's applied to tracking stuff. We'll train you. We'll do reviews with you. But we have to start somewhere, right? There's a lot of money, and you look at social media, everyone's talking about, oh, you could get this grant. Oh, you don't need any you don't need no financial statements or tax returns to get 50,000, 150,000, or what? Since when? Everything has to stand scrutiny. And if it doesn't stand scrutiny, what do you have? What are you giving up on the back end? What are you giving up on the back end for some money that they say don't need to be accounted for? Nah, it doesn't work like that. Sorry. Doesn't work like that. So it's important, I hope this message gets to those that really understand it. Step outside of your comfort zone. We know that financials, revenue, cash is personal to us all, including me. We can't even escape that. It's personal. So that's why we should take it personal and make sure that we're doing the things to ensure that we can actually thrive and not just survive. Or say, oops, maybe I should have. So this is encouraging for me to talk to you guys because I'm always talking to myself anyway. No matter what, there's always room for improvement in every area. But we're here to help you at Heyward CPA. We have BYOB. Don't forget we have biz therapy for our coaching clients. We'll coach you on all of the areas that you need. We'll help you with a plan. We'll help you, to facilitate, drawing these things out and how to go about executing what actions need to be taken, right? as long as with tax preparation and filing for you guys and other services. Go to our website, HeywardCPA.com, and you can take a look. But I'm glad that you guys joined today. Again, for those that'll be watching this later on our channels, I hope that this message or some part of this message or something that I said gave you some motivation, influenced you to take a step further to actually implementing a system that's going to allow you to sleep at night and allow you to get closer to realizing the freedom of your time, because that's the thing we're contending with. It's time. We don't have time. There's time, but then we really don't have time because life happens. So on that note, just wanted to say peace. We're going to chuck up the deuces. Again, catch us on HeywardCPA.com. Catch us on Facebook. Catch us on Instagram. Catch us on Twitter. Catch us on LinkedIn. Even catch us here on YouTube. Put your questions in the box down below. Comments, questions, concerns, what I can improve, what information you would want to know a little bit more about. Go to you can email us at hello@heywardcpa.com and shoot us some questions. We're still looking for some questions, and we're going to actually start getting a little bit more into business owners. So we have a list of business owners and people that we're going to invite, and we're going to let them tell you their story. We're going to let you see how real this is outside of what James and I talk about, because that's the community that we're building, right? So check us out. Don't waste any time. Q4 is here. Get your plans ready. Let's go. Get your team involved. Do a couple of push-ups, some jumping jacks, and get ready. Buckle up for 2025, because I know 2024 has been difficult for a lot of people, but 2025 is about to be outstanding. So let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's use each other as resources and strategic partners, customers, and clients. Let's go. All right. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Don't work too hard. Take care.